The 1917 HOLT 120 was the heavyweight champion of the early tractor era. While most tractors of the time were struggling to replace a team of horses, the HOLT 120 was designed to move mountains, or, more accurately, massive artillery pieces across the mud-soaked battlefields of World War I. The HOLT 120 was a behemoth powered by a massive six-cylinder engine. It didn't rely on speed. It relied on caterpillar tracks that allowed its immense weight to float over soft ground that would swallow any wheeled vehicle. The 1881 Westinghouse Traction Engine was a marvel of portable power. While most competitors built massive horizontal boilers, Westinghouse utilized a vertical boiler, making the machine lighter and more maneuverable. It was the pickup truck of the late 19th century farm, primarily used for belt work like threshing wheat. Before the 1920s, maintaining roads required a team of horses pulling a heavy steel blade. The Russell motor grader changed everything by motorizing the process, mounting a grading blade onto a tractor chassis, often a Caterpillar or McCormick Deering. It was the first time an operator could control both the power and the precision of the blade from a single platform, effectively creating the blueprint for every modern road grader you see today. The M3 Grant was the British version of the American M3 Lee, a stopgap tank that became a legend of the North African desert. While its tall silhouette made it an easy target, its 75mm gun gave the Allies a fighting chance against Rommel's panzers when they needed it most. The M3 Grant featured a unique offset 75mm hull gun and a 37mm turret gun. Driven by a 400 horsepower Wright Continental radial engine, it reached 26 miles per hour. Weighing nearly 30 tons, this riveted steel beast consumed fully 1 gallon per mile, requiring massive fuel tanks for long-range desert maneuvers. The DT-54 was built for endurance rather than comfort, featuring a rugged steel frame and a simple, reliable diesel engine. Produced from 1949 until 1979, it became the defining symbol of the Virgin Lands campaign, where thousands of these machines were deployed to cultivate the vast steppes of Kazakhstan and Siberia. Its reputation for being virtually indestructible led to its export to 36 countries, making it a global icon of mid-century mechanization. Starting a MOPS wasn't as simple as turning a key. Before work could begin, the driver had to heat the hot bulb, the cylinder head, with a gasoline blowtorch for about 15 minutes until it glowed a dull cherry red. Once hot, the operator would pull the steering wheel out of its column, insert it into the side of the massive flywheel, and give it a heave to kick the engine into life. It was a ritual that made the tractor feel less like a tool and more like a living, breathing beast. S-100 was the muscle behind Soviet industrialization in the late 1950s. Known for its massive, boxy steel cab and relentless pulling power, it was primarily used as a bulldozer for earth moving and as a prime mover for heavy machinery. Unlike earlier agricultural crawlers, the S-100 was built with a reinforced chassis, specifically to handle the rigors of mining and industrial construction, earning it a reputation for reliability in the harshest Siberian climates. The 1942 Harley-Davidson WLA, famously known as the Liberator, is the mechanical icon of World War II. Produced in massive quantities for the U.S. Army, it wasn't just a motorcycle. It was a rugged, reliable tool that helped mobilize Allied forces across Europe and the Pacific. The WLA was built for durability over high performance, featuring a low-compression engine designed to run on poor-quality fuel if necessary. If the Harley WLA was a rugged hammer, the BMW R75 was a precision Swiss Army knife. It featured an incredible two-wheel drive system. The rear wheel of the bike and the sidecar wheel were connected by a drive shaft. It even had a reverse gear and a low-range gearbox for crawling through extreme terrain. Its horizontally opposed boxer engine provided a low center of gravity, making it surprisingly stable despite its massive weight. Imagine a vehicle named after a powerful French draft horse. That was the PERCHERON. Launched around 1903 by the Leary Howe Company, it was essentially a French Decoville chassis, imported and rebranded for Americans. It was marketed as a reliable, sturdy, mechanical horse that could handle the unpaved, brutal roads of the era while maintaining a level of luxury and engineering precision that domestic models of the time often lacked. In 1944, ZETTELMEYER rollers were the unsung heavyweights of the European theater. Unlike sleek modern machinery, these were brutalist blocks of cast iron. They were engineered for one purpose: repairing bombed runways and carving logistics roads through mud and rubble. Their massive, heavy drums provided the essential compaction needed for rapid troop movement. In the early 1910s, the MOGUL 1020 was a small tractor by the standards of the day, designed to be more manageable than the gargantuan 30 to 60 models. Built with a rugged, open chassis design, it featured a massive single-cylinder engine and a cooling system that relied on a large water tank rather than a modern radiator. It wasn't built for speed. It was built to endure the relentless strain of plowing through tough prairie sod, often running on cheap kerosene to save farmers money. In the early 1920s, the 816 Junior was IHC's answer to the Fordson Revolution. It was designed to be small enough for a single operator, but powerful enough to replace several teams of horses. Known for its distinctive sloped nose radiator design, which sat behind the engine to protect it from dust, it became a symbol of the transition toward modern, gasoline-powered farming. In the late 1920s, the tractor wars were in full swing between International Harvester and Ford. While Ford's Fordson was cheaper, the McCormick Deering 1530 won the hearts of farmers because of the Nebraska tractor tests. These were the first ever mandatory performance tests for tractors. The 1530 performed so consistently that it forced competitors to stop making exaggerated power claims, effectively establishing the first truth in advertising standards for the agricultural industry. This is a LANZ locomobile, a portable steam engine produced by the legendary German manufacturer Heinrich Lanz AG. Unlike later tractors, these were often portable, stationary engines used to drive threshing machines or sawmills via a belt connected to that massive flywheel. The LANZ steam engine was the backbone of European agricultural industrialization. Before the Bulldog internal combustion tractor made the brand world famous, these steam behemoths provided the massive torque needed for heavy labor. Seeing one in motion is like watching a mechanical heartbeat. The rhythmic chuffing and the sheer momentum of the red flywheel represent the peak of 19th century engineering transitioned into the 20th. The 1926 Keystone skimmer shovel represents a pivotal moment in construction history, the bridge between the era of massive steam-powered behemoths and the versatile internal combustion machines we recognize today. Unlike standard shovels that dug in an arc, the skimmer was designed for surgical precision. In 1926, road building was exploding across America. While traditional steam shovels were great for deep digging, they were clumsy at leveling a flat roadbed. The Keystone skimmer solved this with a unique horizontal sliding bucket. It was the scalpel of the construction site, precision engineered to save hours of manual labor.